was a good one. Hi guys, we're harvesting potatoes again. Potatoes are one of my favorite things to harvest. John's lucky to have off work today, so he's gonna help me. I brought you along for harvesting my raised bed potatoes a couple weeks ago, and I was really happy with that. We got almost 60 pounds out of one bed. Today, I'm harvesting my Ruth Stout row. If you're not familiar, planting potatoes Ruth Stout style, you place the potato on top of the soil, it's not buried, and then you layer about 8 inches of compost, or 8 inches of mulch on top of that. So we used dried leaves and straw. I'm really eager to see how this harvest is. I don't expect it to do as well as the raised bed harvest, but it's still great for us because we don't have that many raised beds, and this adds to the number of potatoes we're able to grow. So let's see what we've got. I really like that we can do this without digging, and the potatoes usually come out clean. All right.
Okay.
So
how do you do this?
I'm gonna get the plants out of the way. We don't have many left. And then let's just, uh-oh, is there bug damage? Oh, no. Look at that.
A lot of little guys here.
Well, this will be good.
We call them new potatoes.
New potatoes? Yeah.
The greatest marketing coup of the 20th century.
Yeah, Dad thought that was so funny when I told him that, like, people pay more for those. They are tender.
I mean, there's some good ones. It seems like the good ones grew toward the middle and the small ones are all at the edge.
The edges. Okay.
So that might be something.
Got some bug damage on this one, but most of them are coming out pretty clean. I don't see him. Oh, can you see this little fella?
It's probably the cause for a lot of our potato damage.
Yeah. We thought it might be insect damage, but I'm suspecting now it's... Oh, there he goes. I suspect it's vole damage. No.
That's a nice big potato.
Yeah. Hope there's more of those. These are red Norland potatoes. They are moderately resistant to scab, which is great for me because if you join me for harvesting my raised bed with potatoes, all of them had scab, and that's a problem I've dealt with before. So this is my second year growing potatoes. I'm trying out different varieties and still learning what we like, but I'm really happy with these. We'll probably grow this variety again. If you've ever bought a bag of small red potatoes for something like a crab boil or a shrimp boil or a crawfish boil, those are red Norland potatoes. So I grew the Eva potatoes thinking of making them into French fries. I think these will be perfect for soups for us. Well, oh, there we go. There's a better one.
And there's more.
Huh. That's not the kind I planted this year. That's the kind I planted last year. There must have been a volunteer in there.
Yeah, just dig a little deeper. There's a lot more in here.
Okay. The whole row's been harvested. There's the final haul. All right, so I've just got to weigh these potatoes. I'm really curious what we ended up with. I know this crate weighs a couple pounds. If I take off a couple pounds for the crate, that's 45 pounds. Let's see what we've got here. And that's 19 pounds. So let's see, 45, 19, 50, 64? 64 pounds of potatoes. It's about a 20-foot row. Well, it's actually 2 rows because I planted the potatoes by 2s. So that's a great addition to our potato harvest, knowing that we don't have more raised bed space to allot for potatoes. I'm happy. I just have to make sure, I don't have a good space for laying all these out right now, so I need more shelving so that I can lay these out and store them well. I don't want to pile them high and have them rotting. Next up, we're just going to harvest some green bean seeds. My plants have been done producing for a bit, and towards the end of their life, they got just decimated by grasshoppers. I haven't dealt with grasshoppers before. I got good harvests, but I definitely don't want that to happen again. So if you have grasshopper tricks, let me know. And then I let some of the green beans just stay on the vine because I wanted them to get as big as possible to serve as next year's seed. So we're going to gather those seeds now. This is dragon tongue green bean. It's my favorite kind. It's pretty and I really like the flavor and texture. You can see these have gotten to the point where you can just, they're all knobby. The seeds are defined inside. They're ready. It's nice. I didn't buy any of this seed this year.
Oh, that's great.
It's the first I've been able to do that. I've saved before, but I hadn't saved enough.
Yeah.
Now I have a better sense of it.
Did you preserve any of these this year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Froze.
Like blanching them.
Yeah, froze about 10 bags of them. I don't save seeds from things like lettuce that take a lot of effort to save, but beans, winter squash, cucumbers, it's so easy, and that's one less thing that I have to buy. And there's all my bean seeds for next year. It feels good to set these aside for next year and know that I've kind of got to start on the 2026 garden. I've got some carrots and peppers and tomatoes to harvest in the lower garden yet, and then that's the day. I've got different kinds of carrots on each side. I'm going to start with this side. I think they're bigger. Look at this nasturtium. Isn't it lovely? It's my first time planting it with the carrots, and I really liked it. I did not deal with any pests. Some of them have such thick tops, and then there's not much going on below. Yeah, that one, the top is no more impressive, but the bottom is for sure. This is Uzbek gold, I think, if I remember right. This one's showing some damage. When they split open like that, it seems like I'm harvesting too late, but it's not very big. This one happened to come out really clean. You can see that pretty golden color. Look at this guy. I've been finding these on my dill, my parsley, and my carrots. I think that's a swallowtail. It'll be a swallowtail butterfly. I'm going to leave him alone. They need all the help they can get. Look at that lovely backyard bounty. Over here on this side, I have some kind of orange carrot. I actually can't remember the name of this variety. Carrots can be so deceptive. This top is much smaller than the other variety, but the bottom is a lot bigger than I would have expected. I think I'll cut these up to go with our lunch today. It's also time to pull the last of my beets. I've been harvesting these progressively. We've been eating them, but some of them that I've left in are getting pretty big now. It's kind of ridiculous in the end of August, beginning of September, that I still have my spring beets going. So the rest of them are coming out. Oh man. Okay, that's not going to be worth eating. I don't know how I let things go that far. I'm going to toss this one. Hopefully there's some in here that are still worth eating. Okay, these are just pathetic. There is nothing there, but I'm going to save them for the tops. I'm actually going to eat the tops. I'd mentioned recently I've been placed on a really particular diet to deal with some health issues, and I'm supposed to be eating a lot of leafy greens, or leafy reds in this case. So this is actually gold for me. I am tearing through leafy veggies, so they'll at least serve some purpose.
That's a big beet. That's a really big one.
I know. I think it's probably not going to be tasty. When they get too big, they aren't so tasty. But we'll see. We'll give it a try and find out.
First cut it open before you just take a bite into it.
Yeah.
Because that would be a little random.
Yeah.
The pumpkins look sad.
They're so thirsty. Yeah, you could see these pumpkin leaves. They are so thirsty.
Little wooden figures.
I try to make sure that all the veggies that need to be washed go into the same bin. That way they can get thoroughly hosed off before they ever come inside. I used to be impatient and bring everything inside right away, and it just tracked too much dirt into the house. So root crops share a bin. This celery has been out here a long time too. I was excited but a little overwhelmed by it as it first started to produce a lot because I didn't know what to do with the stuff that we couldn't eat fresh. It's my first year growing celery and I just didn't have a system. But last week I got a food dehydrator and that makes this seem way more useful. I didn't want to have to figure out how to manage all those bundles. I want to harvest some tomatoes too. I used to wait and harvest my tomatoes when they were fully vine ripened. And I've been told before that you can harvest at first blush, but I just felt convinced that they get the most flavor and nutrients if they ripen on the vine. Not true. I've been harvesting at first blush lately, and guess what? My tomatoes aren't all split anymore. It's been fantastic. I will do it that way from now on.
Oh no.
These will go on the tomato table inside. They'll probably be ripe in a few days. Do you want to help me pick some peppers, Willa girl?
Yeah.
Okay. I definitely want to pick the ones that have turned red, but I also want to pick some green ones if they're big. Ooh, look! There's a snacking pepper. Who needs a snack?
Me.
For a moment I saw it and thought it was hot, and then I remembered it's not.
It's a little bit hot.
No, it's just warm from the sun.
I was teasing.
Okay. Isn't this one just darling? It's a new kind for me, La Jolla. A few hot peppers. It's starting to get hot. I'm close to ready to wrap it up. My last stop, I want to harvest a few herbs. Every time I do any harvesting, I make sure to grab some of these calendula blooms. I've been drying them out, just air drying them. Looking forward to turning them into a salve. Oh, there's a beautiful butterfly here on my parsley. Let me see if I can show you up close. It's kind of hard to capture right now. It's on the move. Well, I'll harvest some parsley while I'm at it. Ooh, look at that. This thyme plant is getting huge. I've seen lots of bees on it as it's gotten a few blooms. I like seeing that. You can tell my holy basil's really dry, sad drooping leaves. I have been trying to water every other day, but it's just not rained in, I don't know, a couple weeks now. And it's a lot to keep up with when it's not raining. I had my first cup of holy basil tea a couple days ago because I had dried some of this. It's a new plant for me, and I liked it. I knew that the plant has a lot of health benefits, but you know, you're never sure, is it also going to taste good? It did. I really liked it. Grab a bit of rosemary. There's another one of those swallowtail caterpillars. I mentioned they've been on my dill. I'm just going to leave him alone. That's all the herbs I wanted to get, so that's a wrap on harvest morning. Let me gather everything together so we can see what we've done this morning. I love when everything's gathered together and it turns out to be more than I realized. I don't think there will be many more harvests like this. I think we're closing out these big summer harvests. The thing I was most excited about, the big item for the day, is the potatoes. We rely on those heavily. They're something that don't take any effort to store, and they fill people up at dinner. I love a jalapeno, but it doesn't fill anybody up. So to recap, we have red Norland potatoes, harvested 64 pounds of those, 2 varieties of carrots, 2 varieties of beets, some celery that's headed into the dehydrator, bell peppers, a few hot peppers, there's some jalapenos, and one of my favorites, ají mango in here. Tomatoes that are gonna set out to ripen. These are just for seed, wax beans for seed, and then all the herbs, rosemary, holy basil, thyme, parsley, and my cheery little bundle of calendula. As always, thanks for hanging out with me today. I've got some work ahead of me to get all this cleaned and stored and make sure that it's properly put away. So I'm gonna get to work and I'll share more with you next week. Bye.